All right, so today we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to glance at a job description. Nope, we are going to decode it. We're about to pull back the curtain and look at the hidden blueprint the top companies, like Amphenol, are using to find their next senior engineer. Let's dig in and see what they really want.
Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, we've got our hands on a real-world job posting for a senior design engineer from a huge industry leader, Amphenol. This is our guide. It's a direct, totally unfiltered peek into what excellence looks like right now.
Now, I really want you to stop thinking of this as just, a boring list of requirements. That's not what this is. Think of it more like a map, a detailed blueprint. It's showing us the exact path, the specific skills and experiences that are valued most, the ones that lead you straight to a senior role.
And right off the bat, you can see we're not talking about some entry-level gig. The blueprint is clear. The path to a senior role is built on a solid foundation of real, hands-on experience. That's our very first clue.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the foundational stuff. These are what you might call the table stakes. The absolute non-negotiable digital tools you've got to have in your toolkit just to get a seat at the table.
So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about fluency in specific 3D CAD software, stuff like CATIA and these product lifecycle management tools, or PLM, like Windchill. This is the absolute baseline. This isn't a nice-to-have, folks. This is the price of admission to the senior engineering world.
And look at this number. The blueprint is calling for more than 5 years of product development experience. What does that tell you? It tells you the company wants seasoned pros who can hit the ground running. They're not looking for trainees here.
But wait, it gets even more specific. At least 3 of those years have to be dedicated hands-on time specifically with CATIA and Windchill. That's pretty telling, right? Deep, practical mastery of these core tools is absolutely critical.
But here's the million-dollar question, right? If every serious candidate has these digital skills, how in the world do you actually stand out from the crowd? Well, this next part of the blueprint, this is where the secret is. This is how you win.
See, the real advantage, it isn't found on the computer screen. It's not just about being able to whip up a model in CAD. It's about deeply, truly understanding how that design is going to behave, how it's going to get built, and how it will actually work in the real world.
And boom, here it is. This one line is the total game changer. This right here is where a qualified applicant becomes a top contender. The company is literally telling you what real-world expertise they value the most: connectors, sheet metal, and plastics.
So you gotta ask, why these specific skills? Well, it's definitely not random. For a company like Amphenol, think about it. A poorly designed connector or a flimsy plastic housing, that isn't just a small mistake. That's a potential multi-million-dollar problem. Having this practical knowledge means you create designs that are actually producible, and that saves the company a ton of time and money.
And this little table just illustrates the difference perfectly. A generalist engineer, yeah, they can solve a problem on a screen. But a specialist, someone who really knows plastics, they can anticipate that changing a mold's draft angle by just a tiny bit will stop a part from sticking. That one little insight can save thousands in tooling costs and shave weeks off the production schedule. That's designing for efficiency, and that's what drives real innovation.
So here's the bottom line. This practical knowledge is the crucial bridge that connects the digital drawing board to the actual factory floor. It's the secret sauce that makes sure a brilliant design can actually be made correctly, on time, and on budget.
All right, so now that we've decoded the blueprint, let's figure out how you can actually use it to go from being just another applicant in the pile to an absolutely indispensable asset.
What's great is that this blueprint lays out a super clear 3-step path. Step 1, master the digital toolkit. No shortcuts there. Step 2, and this is the big one, build that deep, hands-on, practical knowledge in a specialty like connectors or plastics. Then you just combine them, and that's how you become the high-value senior engineer that every top company is desperately searching for.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Your degree and your software skills, they make you a qualified applicant. They get your resume looked at. But it's that proven practical knowledge of how things are actually designed for manufacturing, that's what makes you a valuable, sought-after asset.
So there you have it. The blueprint is laid out for you. The final question then isn't for me, it's for you. Looking at this map we've just uncovered, what's the next step in your journey? Which one of these practical skills will you decide to build first to become that indispensable asset that these top companies are really looking for?